Hello everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys a first-person replay commentary. I'm playing Elder Titan this game. I haven't made an Elder Titan game in like 6 months, I just checked. So this will be nice and good. I have new t-shirts in the store if you guys want to look at them really quick. It's the meta pair. I'm wearing it, it's fantastic. It doesn't have myself as a female vengeful spirit, mostly naked on the bear, because I didn't really want to wear that shirt, and I didn't want to have a shirt that I would have to explain to my grandmother every time that I wore it. So unfortunately it's an offlane, but I like this a lot better. I think it looks really good. The links are down below if you guys want to purchase them. I'll just link to the forum post announcing it. That way if you're either in the NA store or the EU store, you can purchase it. And yeah, we can go from there. So
Radiant team
also, the yellow Purge shirts are back on sale for EU only. NA is being worked on, I believe, but they're not quite done yet. So just EU. And I think that's it for announcements. Oh yeah, we play an official match in like 2 hours, 3 hours. By the time this video goes up, it'll probably be almost up, and we'll be tweeting links if you guys want to watch the stream. We're playing against MVP for the FOMOS Dota League. That's the team that we're playing against next week and next on. So this should be a really good like heads up about how we're going to do on Tuesday when we play them for the NSL. So it should be a pretty good match for us. Probably won't be super easy by any means, and who knows, maybe they'll even beat us. But we'll tweet links out for that. So just go follow myself on Twitter at PurgeGamers or twitter.com/SuffordDota if you guys want to see those updates. So that's it for our stuff. Oh yeah, and sorry I haven't made a video in a couple days. Will's aunts came over yesterday, and they literally stayed for 24 hours. Like, they were here for 24 hours. It was really nice to have them, and they got us a ton of food, and they really helped out with a lot of stuff. But needless to say, that's more important than me making a video, unfortunately. So I know it hurts you guys, but personal life-wise, should generally be more important for me. So okay, anyways, we should have a couple more days off. We don't have anything to do other than the match today and on Tuesday, so should pick back up on video production for the week. Anyways. I played this game with Luminous, DPM, another friend of theirs, myself, and Aosin. And this was a ranked matchmaking. Lumi did all the drafting in this game. And I must say, I was extremely skeptical of the picks while we played them, but that actually worked out okay in the end. And I'm actually going to accelerate this a little bit, and I think the only... just close your eyes if you don't want to be spoiled. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay. I'll just like put it at 2 times speed. No, I'm checking. 4 times speed. 4 times speed.
Radiant team pick.
He picked up an Elder Titan here, and this is the hero that I, of course, am going to be playing. And we also drafted a Lich later, so the idea was to do a dual offlane, which are actually pretty strong right now. Dual offlanes are useful because... I forgot to turn my audio up before I made this video. Let's just gamble. Turn on my mic just a little bit here.
Radiant team
The reason dual offlanes are pretty useful is because you can shut down farm a little bit and also contest and get a lot more out of your lane than you normally can. It creates your safe lane is a little bit weaker because of that, because you don't necessarily have a tri lane there. But the dual offlane with a Lich is pretty strong in my opinion. Not only are you pulling the wave back constantly because of Lich, but Elder Titan's fairly tanky, and he can actually get some kills on support heroes sometimes if they get a bit out of position, for example. So it's a pretty good dual lane. It allows me to farm up a mechanism, which is what I go for this game, and as a whole, everything works out pretty nicely. We're actually going to end up being versus a gyrocopter tri-lane, if I'm not mistaken, which is actually pretty scary. Elder Titan's strengths in the offlane as a carry, or as an offlane hero, is that... Oh, we need to slow this down. His benefits in the offlane is that he can get a bunch of damage bonus from his second skill, Ancestral Spirit, and then he can trade very effectively in damage on enemy heroes, because once you get bonus 50 damage or something, that's pretty much a double damage. And then right-clicking against your opponent is usually very good for you. If it's a gyrocopter and I go one-on-one trading, he can just use Rocket Barrage, so I have to be really careful with my trade there. So it becomes a bit harder to trade effectively as Elder Titan against a gyrocopter. So we have to be a little careful. But I think the last time I made an Elder Titan video, I expressed my opinion about his skill build. One of my old teammates, Salen, played Elder Titan offlane, and he went a skill build that I didn't think was good. But since that point in time, Elder Titan got played a ton in the pro scene, and the skill build that became very popular and was deemed the best one was actually the one my teammate won. So I guess I was wrong. And I'll talk about the benefits and the negatives about it. So if you guys don't know how the hero works very well, his second skill sends out a spirit that runs as fast as your hero does. By the way, I'm sick, if you guys didn't notice that, which is why my voice sounds weird. I was really sick yesterday, or like quite sick yesterday. I'm like slightly sick today, but hopefully I don't cough too much. But you send out a spirit, it passes through enemies and creeps, and then when it returns to you, it gives you bonus damage and movement speed. And it's pretty nice. It also gives off your auras as well, which benefits with your third skill, your natural aura. This reduces the base armor and the base magic resistance of enemy heroes and creeps. So that means, for example, if a gyrocopter is late game and he has a ton of agility and he's a ton of passive armor because of that, my third skill, natural order, will just completely remove all of that base armor. So even if he has like 15 armor, natural order will remove 15 armor from the guy. It's like really, really strong versus int carries, or agi carries, sorry. Because agi carries naturally get a lot of agility, and this gives them a lot higher. So I was able to pick up a DD here, and hopefully going for last hits, but the flat Cuirass was actually quite
middle
annoying.
tower is under attack.
And I missed a decent amount of these last hits, not a huge amount, but a couple. And again, we have a Lich. I can play slightly aggressive here because I knew that supports were just mid, and I'm also going to trade hits a couple times with the gyrocopter. Since I still have the DD up, I might as well get the damage in. He's got to run away from me. He could have maybe rocket barraged since he was level 2, but he ended up not doing it. So I was like, alright, whatever, no rocket barrage, it's going to be okay. So the wave is now pushing. Again, every time that Lich can, she's going to use Sacrifice, which should provide us with... it'll provide us with EXP and also push the lane back towards us, since we would have less creeps then. Your first skill, by the way, is the Stomp. What's it called? Echo Stomp. It's a channeled stun. Sleep, actually. It's not really a stun. But the way it works is, if your spirit is out, yourself and the spirit also channel the Echo Stomp. And if it lands, it basically prevents... It's like a stun, but if they take hero-based damage, they wake up, is the way that it works. So, in the last video I made, I argued that you should be getting more levels. I was on some ping issues here, by the way. I think I maybe could have gotten that if I had less ping, but... because we were playing US West here. But I argued in the past that you should get at least 2 levels of Echo Stomp in the early game so that you can set up your ulti. The mistake in my thought process here was that my ulti was extremely important, and it's really not that important. It's a lot more important that Elder Titan actually just get his aura levels up really fast, so that when the mid game rolls around, you end up doing a lot more damage in teamfights. And it doesn't just work for your hero; it also works for your allies' damage. So, if a Chain Frost flies through, in a normal settings, a Chain Frost is going to be reduced by 25% every time it bounces. If I have 4 levels of natural order, it's actually doing extra damage. So 25% of that, like 300 damage it's doing is like 75 damage. So every time the Chain Frost hits, it's now doing an extra like 80, 85 damage, which is a pretty big amount. It's very similar to just having a naturally farmed Veil, for example, except it's for pretty much all damage. And for physical damage, it's like not even close to as much. The physical damage that natural order provides is like massive. It really increases your damage by a lot. So if you have a physical carry, even somebody like a sniper, it really pays off hard, especially against a hero like Bristleback. So obviously getting ganked here. 2 disables from them. But it's actually going to be all okay. As long as the gyrocopter wasn't within range of me to rocket barrage while I was disabled, that really didn't end up being an issue. So you can micro the spirit independently from your hero. In the past, this wasn't really the case. It was kind of difficult to micro because it would like mirror your movements or something like that. But it doesn't do that anymore. It's very easy to like run it around, run it through enemy heroes, and get kills on creeps and things like that. So I knew that I was gonna have to use the spirit to get that last hit. So, and I unfortunately only got 1 out of it. So maybe not so worth it. But I picked up boots first. This is really important in the offlane, of course. If I didn't have boots when the Crystal Maiden and the Nyx Assassin ganked me earlier, there's a good chance that I just would have died. So. And now since I'm basically solo here, the Lich went over to put wards or something, I'm not entirely sure. I just have to play a little bit more safe. Again, I can trade with the gyro if I want, but I used a clarity potion, so I'm just going to play it safe for now. So knowing where the enemy supports are is usually the most important thing that you can do as an offlane hero. I'm also going to run it through these creeps. It does push the lane technically, but it does give me a lot more bonus damage. See, I'm now sitting at about double damage, so trading hits with him wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but as I can see, his flat cannon is actually hitting me quite a lot, so it's kind of hurting me a decent amount. I was hoping to get 2 last hits there, but I only got 1, so whatever. Basically, you should just be spamming Ancestral Spirit to get last hits while harassing your opponent offlane. It's not always the best to push it, like I said, but Like, for example, if I wasn't casting the Spirit at all there, the lane likely would have stayed a lot closer to my tower, and there would have been a lower chance of me actually dying here. But I did end up taking Harass. The lane kind of pushed a ways, and I needed to go back and get a bottle, I think. I'm not entirely sold on the bottle first build for offlane Elder Titan. I think in the pro scene, at least, when there's a solo Elder Titan, they actually go Soul Ring very first, or at least in the past, that's what I've seen. I don't know if that's the current build, but at least in the last 4 months, that was a build that I was seeing. And that basically just becomes useful because just about every time the Ancestral Spirit's off cooldown, you can use the Soul Ring, and you can throw the Spirit out very easily. So it basically just gives you full mana. You can continue last hitting despite being a melee hero. You can sap EXP, and everything works out pretty nicely for your hero. So I'll just continue maxing out the Spirit and the passive. Some games you actually don't want to get your ulti at 6. Usually you go 4 in the second skill and 4 in the third skill, because it just gives you the aura as high or as max as possible. And I'm going to send the... I mistakenly right click there, but I just want to send the Spirit, and there we go. I did damage to him. Everything's going to be good now. And now I get double. So. Just use the damage bonus to continue to deny and all that good stuff. I think in this game, though, I did actually grab my ulti at 6, and the reason is because I'm in a dual lane, so there's a lot higher chance of me being able to use it. If I was solo, pretty much no chance that they would walk through it, so it's not worth using. But we also have a clockwork support on our team, which means that if he hookshot somebody and cogs them in, I can guaranteed ulti that guy, because he's not going to be able to move away from the clockwork. So. It's nicely done by the gyro. The way that he played that told us that he did have a lane ward, which we can see on the map, or we can see with our screen, slightly below the Lich icon. Basically, he ultied in preparation of the Lich icon, so that was nicely done by him. I baited out a Rocket Barrage here. I did this one on purpose. And I'm not sure where Lich is going to head at this point, but a little bit of a rough start for them, I think. If I look at numbers. Where is it here level? Yeah, Lich is level 4, and Lich has died. No, just once. That's not bad. I mean, it wasn't really her fault either. We didn't know that there was going to be a ward there. And he actually stopped last hitting for quite a while to get that kill, so... Our team's actually not last hitting very well. They're beating us pretty handily in 2 lanes, so... Not the best start for us, but on the bright side, we have Elder Titan, and in the mid game, everybody's going to hit really, really hard because of it. So, I'm going to pick up a TP scroll here, just in case I need to TP support another lane. My bottle's also empty, so I'm probably going to go rune control in about 20 seconds here, because that's going to hopefully, for me, make sure that I can stay in lane and stay out on the field a bit longer. I'm also looking to scout for support heroes with my Spirit, and unfortunately for me, I actually didn't scout those 2 heroes. I almost did, but I missed them. I think they just smoked, actually, and yeah, they did. That's pretty funny. I didn't realize it at the time, but I actually broke their smoke. The only reason I know that they smoked is because they were visible on the map and then they disappeared. And of course, this is a replay, so it shows that. But yeah, I broke their smoke, and now they're going to roam towards mid again. So that was kind of convenient.
Dire's top tower.
They really didn't have a way to kill me, honestly. My armor's not that high, but my movement speed is pretty good, and it's just a CM at like level 4 and a Nyx at level 4 or something. Yeah, they were not going to get me, so no big loss there. I think I let him flat cannon me way too much there. That was a mistake. Also, running into them, I was going to go for the bot rune. It didn't end up spawning there anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I definitely have to run away now. I want to last hit these creeps, but I really can't chance it because the missile's coming after me. If I let the missile hit me within range of the gyro, he would just ulti me and I would die. I wouldn't be able to survive that one. Another really big unfortunate thing is that I'm actually not I'm not full on HP or anything, so I can't actually TP this. It would have been really nice if I could have, though. And at this point, it's not really worth me going, so I wasn't going to bother.
Radiant's top tower is
I'm
under
going to TP the
attack.
bot lane here just to put some pressure on
Dire's
the
bottom tower is under attack.
gyrocopter. Make sure that he doesn't take the tower or do too much damage here. Defending your towers is really important. It's something a lot of players don't actually do, but the longer that you can delay your towers from going down, the more advantage or disadvantage that you will prevent. More advantage
Dire's
that you will
bottom
retain,
tower is
or
under
disadvantage
attack.
that you will prevent. Is what I mean. So it's really important, especially if they're outlaning you. If they outlane you and they take towers, it's going to quickly snowball into a game win. So you have to be really careful. So I'm going to go pick up Arcane Boots now. This is one alternative to getting Soaring, is that you can get Arcanes. I'm also supplementing my HP regen with a bottle, and the two items together is a little expensive on the mana half, but I think it's an okay choice. So I don't have a TP scroll, so I can't even TP for that one, which is too bad, but as soon as I get a last hit down here, I can pick up a TP scroll, and then I can start helping out my allies if needed. It's really not that bad to just be passive farming like this much on Elder Titan, because he really can't gank very well. It's a lot more important that he just gets a couple core items up and then can support his team that way. And the core items that I'm going for are Mechanism, which is another reason why I got Arcane Boots, because I really need a bigger mana pool. His int gain is not that amazing. It's 1.6. That's actually bad. That's a bad int gain. So his intelligence gain is not good, which means you have to get Arcane Boots or you have to get some other good mana source. If you're going a mid-roll, sometimes phase boots with a drum is good enough. Drum bottle, for example, is a good way for strength or agility heroes to get a bigger mana pool if they need it. But if you're going full-blown mech, it's a lot easier just to go Arcane Boots. And then you can spam your spirit more, you'll have mana pool, and mech actually comes, it'll all be okay. I bought a magic stick here because I know there's a bristleback in the game, so any fight that I'm in, or anytime I'm in a fight against that hero, it's going to give me a ton of HP and a ton of mana. So it's very important that you pick a magic stick in this game. I didn't end up leveling it up until a magic wand at all, just because as I play more and more competitive games, I just don't know if it's really needed, honestly. So
Radiant's top tower
it's nice to upgrade it on support heroes, I think, because usually they need as much HP as they can get per slot because they have to carry a lot of things like observers or sentries. But on a more farm independent hero like Elder Titan, I just don't think it was needed. The reason it's not really needed is because it's 500 gold basically. Like if I'm getting farm, I'm more likely to run out of item slots, or I'm gonna need a core item a lot faster. So I don't want to spend 300 gold upgrading it to a magic stick or magic wand just for the slight benefit of 5 more charges in the stats. I just don't think it's worth it because I want to get a mech as fast as I can, and 300 gold could be the difference between a minute or a push or something. So.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I decided to ulti this, by the way, because Wilson said to go in. As you can see, that worked out really well. I thought for sure I should
down you! Thanks for standing still.
Basically, Aosin said go in, and he didn't check his ulti, and his hookshot was still 12 seconds cooldown. So I went all in. That's why I ultied. Because I was anticipating him hooking one and clogging one of those guys, but it didn't actually happen. And then he looked at his cooldowns and he was like, oh, I don't have my ulti, so that's pretty funny. I really wish I had my buckler in that fight, because I did take a lot of right-click damage, so. Didn't get it, though. Just sat in the courier. Especially when you have HP regen already, like I do with the bottle, I think it's absolutely worth it to go buckler first. The 5 armor is a lot more likely to keep you alive than the headdress is. You don't really need the headdress, basically. The buckler is a lot more useful. We did see the Crystal Maiden over here, and I kind of wanted to go in her. It kind of seemed like they had detection, and we were a little worried about a Nyx Assassin coming.
Under attack.
Because Nyx Assassin could have been invis and waiting for the kill, but I told him to just go for it. I thought it was going to be fun. And I'm going to begin chasing. The headshot was actually really good. His ulti gets stopped, but it's going to be okay. I'm just going to chase here. Probably should have bottled a little earlier. But he ends up getting killed anyway by the sniper, so it worked out okay. My aura actually does very little against Crystal Maiden, if you guys didn't know. It's because, again, her base armor is really low. So, Elder Titan is very situationally useful. That's not really true. He's pretty much always good across the board because everybody's got armor, and everybody's got armor that can be reduced, but against supports in the early game, he's not really the strongest hero. As you saw, it wasn't super easy for me to kill an underfarmed Crystal Maiden. Actually, she's level 8. She's doing okay, but it wasn't the easiest thing. Again, the best thing I can do is basically just spam my aura, or spam my spirit out, and do some damage to important heroes, so. Once I hit level 9, I'll be maxed out on aura as well as spirit, and then I can start getting some stomp levels.
Tower is under attack.
We're trying to find the Nyx Assassin, but he very wisely was hiding another patch away. So I'm just going to run my spirit through the creeps. It's a really dead sniper, so he said to push instead. This may be a bit of a mistake for Death Prophet to use ulti here. As long as they're not TPing, I don't think we really need it to. But we're going to keep pushing the bot lane. Sentry down's really important when you push against the next assassin, because otherwise he might invisible initiate on you. TPM just put a ward down as well, so now we're expecting a puck. I'm going to put a spirit right on top of it just to prevent him from blinking if he has one, or at least it'll force him to wait 3 seconds to blink.
Dire's top tower is under
the ulti out there. Hit nobody. Since I have a haste, I'm going to go for the puck. At this point, I just have to engage. Like, I have to. There's a homing missile after me. I still have a haste, of course, but really need to run. So close to mech, too. If I had a mech in that fight, it might have gone a lot better for us. I don't know how many heroes we killed. Maybe only like 2 or something. We killed Nyx Assassin and we killed Puck. Stomp jukes are really, really useful, by the way. Basically, I just turn the corner and make sure he can't see me. I start channeling it. That way he'll still run through and he'll still be in the area when I finish it. If I actually didn't stomp him there, I think I would have died. Especially with CM showing up. And this will complete my mech now, so this is going to be really good for our team. I can heal everybody for 250. I can give everybody a 2 armor buff when I use it, I think. And it also gives me 5 armor. Which means that I'm pretty survivable against Bristleback, 1v1 at least. Like that plus the magic stick really gives me a lot of survivability.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
CM's gonna die here. I'm almost in the middle, so I can fight out.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I was trying to mech Lumi, but he kind of left the fight.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Up the mech finally. Not sure if we'll get it.
Radiant's
We should be able to get the tower at least. I'm hitting really hard right now. I got like every single enemy hero. I'm getting plus 180 damage. It's so good. I almost got denied. It was really close.
Tower is under attack.
That guy's actually pretty good. WTF mate. We've played against him in LANs before. I think he played at the Landhammer LAN that we won. I think that's what Blitz said at least. As did one of the other players on the Radiant team, Sun Crusher, I think. Sun Crusher and WTF mate. I think they were from California. So, not the first time we played against him. My stats again don't look very fantastic, but again, the purpose of my hero is not necessarily to early game gank or anything. It's just to get levels and get some farm, and that way I can have items and be useful when the team fights start. Again, just standing around is going to prevent my allies from having, or my opponents from having a ton of survivability. I'm just going to click around very briefly to show you about how much I'm helping out right now. So if we click around, Puck has 5 armor. It's completely gone. During team fights, if I'm standing near him or my spirit is near him, he has minus 5 armor. Bristleback, the first number is the one that gets reduced. He'll have minus 6 armor in the fights. Gyrocopter, minus 9 armor. Crystal Maiden's gonna have minus 3 armor. And Nyx Assassin will have minus 5 armor. That's a huge amount. That's like having an AC already. I mean, you can compare it very simply to like the Shadow Fiend ulti and say like, yeah, it's not that much better than Shadow Fiend ulti, but you have to remember that it also does magic resistance as well. It does 33% magic resist reduction off the base, that is. I might have been wrong about the numbers. When I give the Lich example, I might have been wrong. Base resist reduction. I think it puts you at like -8%. I might be wrong though. I might be wrong. I don't remember exactly how it works. Yes, damage the Crystal Maiden.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
I was trying to
tower
stop
has
that one,
fallen.
but I ended up not doing it.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's
Puck did a
top
really good
tower
job this
has
game
fallen.
with towers. If you cast a spirit on him, then he can't blink, and all this good stuff happens. I thought he might be TPing here, so I would channel him, but he ended up not TPing. And now if you look at the map, we're getting like heavily flanked. This is not good for us. Unfortunately, walking this down.
Unstoppable.
And we lose. We lose everything. 2 dead heroes. We didn't get the tower. We didn't kill the puck. Nothing really good happened there. Just not good. That's a good chance, guys. And that's kind of where they overextended. Them overextending there was a pretty big mess for them.
I owe you one.
Got a headshot. Just so close. That was his last chance. He had 2 shots to get a headshot. He ended up getting it.
Dire's
It's not
top
horrible
tower
odds,
is under attack.
But it's like what? No, you can't just add it up like that. It doesn't work like that. I'm thinking about statistics stuff right now, but I'm mathing it out wrong. Dude, my mustache is getting so long. It's ridiculous. It's almost back, guys. It's so close. So I'm just going to finish up the neutral creeps here. Item choices next. Basically, as Elder Titan, you don't really need damage because your Ancestral Spirit actually bumps you up a lot. So you can instead focus on utility stuff like I already have. Mechanism is a really, really good choice. You can get things like Force Staff, you can get a Rod of Atos, you can get a Sheepstick, you can get a Shiva's Guard is really good. Increases your personal survivability a lot, which means you can stay alive in fights longer, cast more spirits, have more auras, things like that. Or at least have the auras sustain longer. And just as a whole, Shiva's Guard is really nice. If I didn't get Arcane Boots, Shiva's Guard might have been my pickup because while also making me really survivable, it also really increases my mana pool. But I don't really need to do that if I already invested 1,000 into Arcane Boots. So if I went phase, Shiva's is a really good choice, especially if you're playing a mid role. But I think in the role that I did here, where I played like an offlane role, I don't think it was worth it. I don't think it'd be worth it to grab a Shiva's Guard. This guy's getting really. It's gonna force me to pot my mech here. Oh yeah, item I'm getting. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get an AC basically. I just told you why like Shiva's Guard is good but not amazing in this circumstance. I think the better item build would be an AC. The reason AC is good is because I already explained that the aura already reduces their armor a lot, but now even better off. It's actually expect that next assassin.
I'll talk your innards.
But basically, if you already reduced their armor by 9, why not just get an item that also reduces it by a further 5, and then you end up stacking into a point where like you're suddenly doing like minus 15 armor to the carry.
Boom! There it goes.
It's a ridiculous amount. And then against supports, even though they only have like 3 to 5 armor, you're now doing minus 10 armor against those guys. And minus 10 is a ridiculous amount. It really is. Considering how much gold it costs to buy 10 armor, if you can just casually do that against your opponents by having 2 items or 1 item and a passive, it really impacts team fights a lot. It kind of like changes people's perceptions of how long they should live in fights as well. And that's something that's really powerful because most people play off of like experience and like just circumstance. You say, oh, at this point in the game, I can usually survive this. It's just kind of like a feeling that everybody has. And all of a sudden, when you have an ability like Natural Order and people are overestimating that kind of stuff, it gets really, really scary and can really swing team fights based on mistakes. So it's basically the reason why Elder Titan is so popular, or at least was and sometimes is still popular in the pro scene. His aura is really strong. It really is. His other skills are also useful, but his aura is really strong. So if you grab an AC, more survivability for me, attack speed for me and my allies, which is utility, and a lot more minus armor to help us focus on heroes. And when we have a sniper on our team, and we have a death prophet on our team, minus armor is going to be really useful since that's all physical damage. Alright, so passive farming for now. Looks like we're kind of getting ganked all over the map. We can check our gold graph stuff. I want to see how far behind we are. We're actually ahead in EXP slightly, and gold... I'm sorry, this is them. They're just slightly ahead of us. It's really not by a huge amount. Luckily for us, Lumi did a nice job farming. And a TP as soon as the buffer goes in. My stomp ended up creating that.
Radiant's current has been killed.
I'm just gonna throw the ulti really quick. I don't know if that actually caught the gyro. Just want to make sure that's still possible. Reduction to be really low. Maybe the sniper was just kind of ready. It was really close. So I ended up surviving that fight. That fight was really, really big for us. Aosin got a bunch of kills. He started off with the Crystal Maiden. The initiation was perfect. I showed up shortly afterwards. The puck died really, really early because of my stomp, I think. He dodged the chain for us, but then my stomp ended up hitting him. And it did about 180 damage, which is pretty big. So, good damage there. Fight went well. I didn't die. Kept the spirit on the gyrocopter, so he died despite BKBing.
Pour on the speed.
And then the bristleback really tried to kill me, but Lumi just kind of picked him off with the sniper. I think he has Manta at this point. Yeah, Manta. He actually streamed this game. I told him to get Desolator afterwards because I really think Desolator is the right sniper item. It really increases your right-click damage by a massive amount. And another thing to do while you're neutral creeping, in case you guys didn't know, make sure you pay attention a lot to the clock. If you go to neutral camp and it's about to spawn new spawns, you can very easily, I messed this up here, you can very easily spawn 2 creep camps, or pull it basically, stack it again. That way when you do AoE, if you have any AoE at all, it ends up being really worth it. I decided to use Stomp here because I made the mistake of accidentally pulling my spear back too early. And you should always be casting it on the camp over there, and then pulling it over, because this gives you more bonus damage. If I only cast it on 3 creeps, it gives me a lot less damage than it does if I do 6 creeps. So, and also the added benefit is by the 3rd time you cast this, the medium camp is completely gone, and you have to go over there. So, yeah, I only get 36 damage from 3 creeps. So. Getting kind of close to AC, but really not that close. This is about the part where I'm a little unsure what I should do for items, at least when it's finally time to sell the bottle. I think pretty soon here I did end up selling the bottle and picking up the Hyperstone, because the Hyperstone on Elder Titan really increases your damage output a lot, assuming you stole a lot of damage. So I'll just shift down there for now since the wave is pushing a bunch and somebody's going to have to farm it. We're pretty content, honestly, doing safe farm. I think Gyrocopter's farm is really not that high. It's not bad by any means. He's got a BKB and he's almost got a butterfly, but we felt it was a lot lower than Sniper's is. It's actually very, very close. It's only about 10 away. I had huge damage here, by the way. I thought I was going to get the tower.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I was like, I hit for 160 damage. There's like no way he's going to deny it. I'm going to wait for 1 catapult more and then I'm going to hit it. But I misjudged it very, very slightly. For all I know, it was the difference of, I don't know, 8 damage. Very unlikely, but it was pretty unlucky. And it was a really nice last hit by him. If he didn't do that, his team would have lost a lot more gold. That's for sure. So, felt it was time to pick up the Hyperstone. I got the Hyperstone now. I can jungle faster. I'm a little closer to my AC. I can dish out a lot of damage. I was gonna mech him actually, but then you just kind of blew it. Dagon is good. I don't know which Dagon.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Really strong. Look how fast he died there. We didn't even have the AC yet, and he just got blown up. His Nice
Dire's
TP by the
middle
puck.
tower is under attack.
I want to look at the armor levels now so we can compare again. So Gyrocopter has 16 base armor. I reduced his armor by 16 now. Bristleback sitting at 8, -8 there. Puck has 9, 4 on Crystal Maiden, -6. All of that armor is going to go away as I stand next to them. Third skill's OP, man. It's really, really OP.
There it goes.
That's a force BKB right there.
Monster kill!
I put the Spirit right on top of the phase shift puck, by the way, because there's no reaction time, basically. Like, he can't... assuming his phase shift isn't 3 seconds, which I don't think is the case.
Radiant's
He's probably
middle
what,
tower
it's
is
15.
under attack.
Yeah, he is. He did have a level 3 phase shift, but he basically has no way to react to it. As soon as he comes out of phase shift, if he's at all slow with his blink dagger, it is going to react.
Dire's top tower is
It's a
under
little scary
attack.
actually for us to stand here. A lot of them are around.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Actually got both pretty good. He did have an Aegis though. I don't really have anything else though. I can't mech. I cannot cover him basically. But they actually backed off quite rapidly after that, so wasn't the worst thing ever. At this point I'm very close to finishing AC, so I'm just gonna go into the jungle and try to finish it up. Add an extra -5 armor to our opponents. You can actually jungle really fast with the Hyperstone. It helps a lot. I was really surprised when I did this. More bonus damage. Alright, that should do it. So now I have an AC, a mech, and an Arcane Boots. It's not that much for 30 minutes, but it's okay for an offlane. Lumi's doing really well this game. He's got 14 kills, 3 deaths, 8 assists. But it really helps with the hero composition that he got. When you have a Clockwork with the Sniper, the benefit is that if the Clockwork is a good player and they have enough farm, they can basically initiate and draw all the fire. And all of a sudden if a Clockwork jumps in like that, and I run in as well, and there's a Death Prophet, all the focus is going to be on us, the melee heroes, the heroes that are in melee range, the heroes that are like creating imminent threats. And then the Sniper just kind of sits back and he pops Manta and he pings away and he kills a hero
Dire's
or two.
structures are
And that's really why
fortified.
part of the reason is it's obviously also a good play. But it certainly helps a lot to have all these other heroes creating distractions. So, again, just want to run the Spirit through just about everything.
Rock it on.
I have to be a little careful about using the Spirit because it's good to save it for the stomp. Clock went all the way over there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I came down here so I can make the Clockwork, but it's kind of separated our team. You don't have this right.
In my arm.
It's a nice blink by the Nyx, and then
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Shrapnel's actually not too bad of a skill. It's situational, but it's not super bad. The slow can be very useful.
Radiant's top tower has been
Next item that
denied.
I'm picking up is gonna be a Vlad's. You might be a little confused about this because basically, in a lot of other situations, I'll talk about like balancing attack speed items with damage
Radiant's
items.
middle tower is under
But for Elden
attack.
Titan, again, you don't need to do that because you have all your damage from your Spirit, and really you're more of a utility hero than anything else. So
Radiant's middle
I'm picking up the
tower has
Vlads
fallen.
in addition to the AC because the auras do stack the normal
Radiant's
auras.
middle tower
So this
is
guarantees that
under
I can basically give myself and my teammates 10 extra armor, which is huge against Bristleback because the hero thrives largely upon physical damage and generally AoE damage.
Radiant's middle
And if you can
tower
reduce
has
his armor
fallen.
to nothing, more or less, and you can also give you and your allies an extra 10 armor, which is a free play now for everybody, but the cost benefit analysis is amazing because it's like I'm spending 2,000 gold to give Well, it's more than that, of course. I'm spending 2,000 gold to give everybody on my team a chainmail, but having the two items together, that's a free plate mail for everybody, more or less. Or a free plate mail for 4 people, more or less. So it's really, really good. At least against a major physical AoE hero like that. If it was a hero like PA, it's still good to have lots of armor, but it doesn't become quite as useful. But if it's AoE, then it's more than enough to reduce the damage output. I don't think he even has that much. He's got pretty good items. He had a really nice start. He's got a mech and a pipe and a vanguard, but I don't know if it's going to be quite enough. What am I talking about? I know what's going to happen this game. We did end up losing Lumi down there. I think that was a smoke gank or something like that. He did have buyback at this point. I think he almost has butterfly as well. But I don't think he's going to get up in that, if I'm not mistaken. So, they are going to push the mid lane, so we just have to kind of try to slow that down if possible. But I don't know if we'll get there. So I'm just going to keep punching creeps for fun because I can. The Vlad's is actually pretty nice for me as well because I don't have to spend as much on HP regen items or popping mech early or whatever. I'm always going to be full HP at the jungle. It's a little dangerous for me to actually come up that far to use that. But I'm just going to try to slow down my push if possible. That's a little trick you can do to trick people. You can retract the spirit so they think that you're not going to stomp with it. And then as it's returning, you can channel a stomp and it'll stop moving. So. Really nice blink there from the puck. Actually, I didn't get a chance to use it there. Really good punch.
I tested your metal and found it wanting.
Coming out.
Shot to hell!
Actually worked out pretty darn good. Yeah, they used all their bursts and things on me, and that prevented me from using my mech or my wand. If I would have been able to get unstunned, I could have healed for like
Radiant structures are fortified.
what is that? 400 HP, which is a pretty big amount. I don't think it would have saved me, but at least I would have been able to like cast my ulti or something like that. So, a bit of a mistake for me, but I think that was the first instance of them having a hex, and I definitely didn't see that one coming. So it was well done by Puck. We definitely still win the team fight really hard though. I think, or I'm sure we're really far ahead in terms of graphical amount. Yeah, pretty massively 500. It's good. EXP is way ahead though. I don't really know why actually, because our kills are actually pretty.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Apparently we're doing something right. I think at this point they're just going to back off and take Roshan because they can't really push in anymore because the respawns are up and we don't have death profits. So we can definitely kill Roshan very fast. I don't think natural order works against Roshan, but the medallion or the AC does. That -5 armor does, and of course Desolator also does. So Desolator and AC is going to be plenty to take out Roshan. I'm lifestealing about the same that I'm taking, so it works out okay.
Roshan has fallen to the down.
Immortality!
So Aegis for sniper now, we should be able to push.
Here.
I don't know what else to say, guys. My brain isn't working very well. I notice it always impacts my recording performance when I'm tired and sick. We have a lot of 4 staffs, that's really good. The Clockwork's quite fun now. He's got a blade mail and a necro 3. It's really good. So they are so ready to defend. A couple things about pushing as Elder Titan. My #1 goal is going to be try to stomp on somebody that's an important hero and then initiate on them if possible. And in this case, I'm going to find Puck. It's also really good to be able to just do damage to them alone, because if you do damage to them enough, they're going to have to back up and go heal. If they lose 30% of their HP, that's actually a pretty serious amount. Like right there, I put Puck to like, he's at 80%, which is not a huge decrease, but look at that, he's going back to base to heal now, because he wants to make sure that he's going to be at full. So he's going to pop into Fountain for a moment, get some HP back out, and I'm going to get a bunch of bonus damage. In the meantime, we're just going to have Sniper ping away at the tower from range. And again, I find Puck, I'm going to try to stop him again. He actually stopped looking for a moment. And this means I'm going to be able to ult him. So, Eosin did the follow-up really which is good. I messed up the net. But at this point, we just kind of snowballed right through them, basically. We killed Puck, who was maybe the most farmed hero. Second most farmed. Really farmed hero. That was 16,000 or 15,000 gold that did absolutely nothing in that fight because we were able to pick him off. So he must have been looking somewhere else when I did the stomp. But, I got him with the stomp, but I was able to ulti on top of him and do a big percentage of his HP, and then the hookshot from the clockwork also guaranteed that he was stunned for long enough to burst him before he ended up getting him. So it was a pretty good team fight for us there. I focused way too much on necking, which I should have just like spirited and gone for kills, but I didn't start right clicking until really late in the fight, which was a mistake. So.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
So that's basically Elder Titan in the offlane role. You can play him similar to this, but generally it's slightly different. It's similar to this. I of course got dual lane support, but it's basically the same thing. You get some mana, survivability, you grab the mech, or you grab drones, or you grab whatever. And then you just try to get levels and then be there for team fights in the mid game. So grab all your aura levels and try to stay alive, and it should allow you to just go a lot further with all of your damage and your right clicks and things like that. So Elder Titan is still a very strong hero. He does lack disables, but if your allies have disables, then it doesn't really matter that much. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Sorry again that I haven't uploaded in a bit, but I'll be getting back to that soon. Again, if you guys like the t-shirts, please go buy them because I think they're awesome. And thanks again to Team Liquid for being my store partner. I think that's about it though. I might go take a nap before a match, and I'll see you guys later. See ya, bye.